December 27th, Kirk and I are starting to build your rod. It's going to be made out of this 12-foot comb that's been sitting up in the rafters for, well, it'll be 4 years in January. So it's 2010, and I actually got it in January. So picked a good chunk of cane here for you to work with. A lot of power fibers, big spacing on the nodes, big spacing, which is good. These are your nodes in between here. So what we're going to get started on today, we're going to take a couple of shots and video of it as the day goes along. And obviously we're not professional photographers or anything like that, so bear with us, because you might get a lot of shots of our bellies and stuff. Which we have plenty of. The second step after picking the cane and cutting it to the size you need is to flame it to give it that antique look that we're looking for. As you can see, Kirk kind of works his way, never holding it in one spot for too long, and it gives it a little bit of a mottled look, moving up and down the cane, always moving the flame. So the next part is finding the halfway point on the palm after it's been flamed up. Finding the halfway point, finding an old knife, and taking it and twisting, and it will naturally follow the grain of the comb itself. And when you get to the nose, you give it a little pop and a twist. And you have two halves. This is how we cut down the strips that are going to make up your rod. So each one of these sections here is going to be a piece of the rod. Now obviously we make more because each one of these was only going to be a hex. So we only need 6 of these, but of course it's better to cut out more and have extras in case some of them get screwed up, which can happen. So now we split all the strips into pieces and staggered the nodes so that you'll see a node stagger one opposite the other to offer strength. And if you notice here where the nodes were at is all filed down, and we're going to get ready to plane these into nice little squares. Here is the two tips and the butt section of your rod. And okay, so for this next portion is what we're going to be doing is taking these strips and straightening them so they look about as straight as narrow. And then these spots right here are the nodes. Those have to be pressed flat. If they're not pressed flat, every time you run a plane over it, it creates a wobble, and then your rod is not positioned correctly, and you get weak spots. So it's important to straighten it, get this as straight as you possibly can, and get the node as flat as possible. And on the other side of it, Kirk is down there sanding the tops of the enamel off, because if you don't, I don't know if you can see it on there or not, but you actually get a curve that goes over the top, and then it doesn't sit in your form correctly. And if it doesn't sit in the form correctly, it sits kittywampus and you won't have a perfect 60-degree angle, which is exactly what we need to have. So we'll start that now. And how we do that is get a good pair of gloves, because they're going to get burned. Alcohol lamp. You can use a heat gun if you want to, but we use alcohol lamps because it's quiet. You can listen to music, do other things besides listen to the hum of the heat gun. And you just rotate it out, never holding it in the same spot, but keep moving it. And there's those big sweeps that are in here, and you want to take those out. start working it. Now this is kind of the part where it gets a little touchy because you want to make sure that you don't push too hard and snap it. Some pieces are easier than others. The butt sections are the ones that are a little bit crazy because the nodes are so close to each other. You get them as straight as possible. Here's Kirk heat treating some of the bamboo, heating it up and taking out the bends, and sweeps, and pressing the nodes to make it as flat as possible. This is probably the most time-consuming portion of building a rod, but it's also probably the most important simply because you can't have anything out of whack in this. If you do, it screws up the whole rod, and it shows. He opens up the press that has a little relief on the side of it, so when you press the node, it has some place to go. As you can see, this part has a little divot in the back to release the node.
So now we got the individual sections to a 60-degree non-tapered section, and now we need to run them through the heating unit, an oven that we built, so that we can kind of help straighten them out a little bit further, and also there's some value to heating this bamboo up, driving out the moisture, and there's some a lot of technical stuff about the lignin in the bamboo and all that sort of stuff, and having it soften up and then reharden. So anyway, they do seem to cast a little bit better. They're a little bit more lively if we heat treat them, so we're doing that right now. I'm wrapping the sections onto a mandrel, which has 60-degree tapered grooves in it, and we're going to put the mandrel into the oven, heat up the bamboo and the mandrel, and the combination of the two make these strips come out really quite straight and really easy to work with for the final planing.
This is the bamboo all wrapped up on the mandrels. You can see the aluminum mandrels that we got from, I believe, Harry Boyd.
Yeah.
Correct? And this is going to heat the whole thing up, and it's going to give off a great smell. Kirk and I have often wanted to turn it into a cologne or something like that. Might be more attractive to guys than girls though, but who knows. Okay, right now you can kind of hear it heating up in the background. Kirk's just removed the front of the oven. You place them in there, roughly 3 minutes. Take them out, you turn them, but you just want to make sure that they don't burn in the center.
That's good, Jason.
And they are done. Let's take a look at them. Browns them up a little bit more than what they were before, which is perfect. Looks good. It smells delicious.
Yep, and they're hot.
Good.